Welcome to the Spirit-Inspired Life. This is Yoshie Miakoda. Hi there, this is Yoshie, and welcome to my podcast. Today we're going to be chatting about what do you need to do when you hear the voices of spirits that are very disturbing. You know, every once in a while, I hear people telling me they heard spirits whispering in their ear evil messages or telling them to harm themselves. Now, are they really coming from spirits? What do you need to do when such disturbing events happen? And that's what I'm going to be talking about today, and I'll be sharing with you 5 things that we need to be mindful when such event takes place. Now, first of all, my passion and part of my mission is to eradicate fears and myths surrounding spirit communication, mediumship, and healing, so you can courageously step into your calling and live a spirit-inspired life. And this is so important to me because, you know, some of the information out there on mediumship is based on fears rather than love. And spirit communication, mediumship, is all about love, and it's a tool we use to uplift and empower people, but not to scare people. And there are people, including some intuitive practitioners, who believe in evil spirits or evil spirit possessions and spirit haunting. But please know that just because someone is a medium or an intuitive practitioner doesn't mean that they know everything and anything to do with spirits. They simply don't. And which of course include myself, right? And that's why continuous education is vital for any and every intuitive practitioner who is committed to making a positive difference in this world. And we don't want to be intensifying negative, heavy energy, but we want to elevate our thinking to elevate our energy. And those who refuse to educate themselves are the ones that are trapped in the old ways of thinking that are based on myth that perpetuate fears. And so our work is not to scare people, but to educate people so that people feel empowered rather than feeling disempowered or frightened or dependent. I have been working as a spiritual medium for a decade now and conducted thousands of readings, but I have never encountered a single evil spirit. Period. Never. So the first thing that I want to talk about is your beliefs are your filter. In all my spiritual experiences, including connecting with my clients' loved ones on the other side, I have yet to receive any negative or disheartening or disempowering messages from spirits. And even the loved ones on the other side who used to be very rude and hurtful when they were here on earth have come back to tell their loved ones, their family members here on earth, that they are very sorry. You know, the loving spirits may try to give you warnings to help you make the right decision and avoid heartbreak or uplift you, but never to disempower or hurt you. And we must understand that it takes lots of loving energy and skills and commitment of each communicating spirit to come through a medium or to their friends and family members here on earth and to establish successful spirit communication. Because the spirit communication is made possible only with the energy of love, but not of evil or darkness. And when it comes to spirit communication or any kind of intuitive spiritual work, your mind is used as a filter, meaning that what's inside your mind, your beliefs, affects the quality of the message you receive from spirits. Now let's say a spirit sends you a loving message and that your mind is filled with fear and stress at that very moment. And by the time the original loving message from Spirit gets to your conscious awareness, the message will be completely changed and distorted, and the end result is a very disempowering and hurtful one. So again, your mind colors the message you receive from Spirit. The second thing that I want to talk about is seeking professional help. If you or someone you know hear hurtful or disturbing messages constantly in their mind or outside of their mind from an unknown source, please do not jump to conclusions that it's coming from Spirit, but instead do seek help from trained, licensed professionals who will be able to guide you to take the right course of action and to handle the challenge. And the third thing that I want to talk about is what's inside you affects what you see and create. Now, I'd like you to imagine you're walking down the street and all of a sudden you get startled because you see a huge snake ahead of you. And your body gets really tense and you start sweating and you're unable to move, right? But someone comes along and walks in the direction of the snake, and you scream and you warn the person not to move further, but the person ignores you and actually steps right on the snake. And then you realize it's not a snake but a piece of rope. And why am I talking about this? It's because there have been many instances where loved ones on the other side were mistaken as dark energies or bad ghosts and negative beings, when all they wanted to do was to simply send love and encouragements to their family members here on earth. And again, our individual mental filter affects what we see. And therefore, it heavily influences our reaction to what we perceive within our individual reality. Sometimes our brain plays a little trick on our mind, right? And trying to make sense of what we see based on our internal filter. And in doing so, we significantly change the information we receive from Spirit. And it's important to keep the filter clear so that there is a lesser likelihood of our getting frightened and threatened by our own misinterpretations, right? Next thing is mind clearing. And it's extremely important that every medium sensitive needs to be aware of their inner workings of their mind before they start working in a professional capacity, so they can increase the accuracy and clarity of messages they receive from spirits. Now, I personally have a 30-minute mind clearing session, and first thing in the morning, and short ones several times throughout the day, and another 30-minute mind clearing session before I go to bed, so that I can increase the quality of messages I receive from spirits. And those of you who are not working as intuitive practitioner, it's also important to have the mind clearing session so that you're not going to misinterpret the loving message that you receive from Spirit. The last thing that I want to talk about is the purpose of spirit communication. The main purpose of spirit communication is about healing. And spirits on the other side, as well as people here on earth, need healing, and the need and love enable both parties to come together to create a beautiful spiritual connection where a medium is used to pass on loving messages. So the 5 things that I talked about is that your beliefs are your filter. And the second thing was that if you or anyone you know hear voices in their mind or outside of their mind constantly from an unknown source, and please do not jump to conclusions that they are coming from spirits or that you're getting haunted, but do seek professional help who can guide you in the right direction. And the third thing we talked about was what's inside you affect what you see and create. And the fourth thing is the importance of mind clearing. And the last thing that I talked about was the purpose of spirit communication. And it's love and need that draw spirits close to this physical plane, but not evil. And again, mediumship, spirit communication is based on love, not fear or haunting or evil spirits or evil purposes. Thanks for tuning in. If you would like to awaken your spirit and unleash your spiritual gold within, please visit YoshieMiakoda.com. That's YoshieMiakoda.com. And you can access the 3-part video series to unleash your spiritual potential. Now open your heart and be courageous and live out your divine purpose today.